Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. JDB Moto with you guys. Today I'm gonna be going on my first motorcycle ride. Oh my god, I cannot recall. It might have been sometime in November. I know it was right before Thanksgiving weekend, because for Thanksgiving weekend this year we went up to Tennessee. So I know it was sometime around November. So the FJR has not seen pretty much no action for the past 2 months. So I decided today to go ahead and go for a quick ride. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Ace Cafe. Just, you know, there's a couple of guys that I ride with that are meeting over there, so I'm just gonna go over there, hang out for a little bit, and then ride back home. But guys, things have been so hectic lately. I've been so busy with work. I have a number of projects that have been pretty much, you know, ready to go ahead and roll out, which have needed a lot of my attention. A lot of the motorcycles videos that you guys have seen have been from around Oktoberfest, when they had a lot of manufacturers came here for Oktoberfest. So a lot of the videos that you're seeing, you know, those about, you know, 2-3 months old, actually even longer than that, because they're from October. So yeah, about 3-4 months old. So you guys know. So for those of you that don't know, that have not been seeing my videos before, I ride a Yamaha FJR. This is going to be a 2008 version. There's going to be an AE, which stands for automatic, and then the one that I ride is just your typical, you know, your typical Yamaha FJR. The one thing that I have to say that I love about the motorcycle is just, it's a very utilitarian bike. It's very simple, no frills. If you look at motorcycles from the same era, for example, your BMWs, like your K, either 1300 or 1400, perhaps, you know, your Kawasaki Concourse, they have a lot more features than you know, my Yamaha FJR. My Yamaha FJR, I will have to say, just basically bare bones. There's really nothing else to it. You get a sport touring motorcycle package, and that's it. There's no cruise control. There's no electronic suspension. There's no tire sensor monitors. It's just basically, I will have to say, for the type of market that the Yamaha FJR covers, the FJR around this era, 2008, I will have to say from like 2004 to like 2012, it's basically your bare bones sport touring motorcycle. So since I've got this motorcycle here, I got her with 70,000 miles. I'm up to 30,856. The only things that I've done to her would be, I put a V-Stream windshield. I had bar risers. Somehow my kids got into the box and I lost it, so I have not been able to do those. I have managed to, I put two brothers exhaust. I ended up putting a Givi rack and give it top case, which is a must if you're going to be doing any type of long distance touring. You can't really fit a whole lot of you can't not fit a whole lot of stuff in your saddlebag, so that's a must. And I definitely have managed to drop the motorcycle one time, which I was so upset. I dropped the motorcycle, I will have to say, maybe a year and a half ago on a trip to the mountains. I was taking a very slow curve and I overshot it, and I ended up laying her. I think I was doing like maybe like 4 or 5 miles an hour. It was like a steep gravel road where, you know, that was where we were going to stay. So I ended up dropping the motorcycle there. Other than that, oh, and I had to replace the starter relay. Don't ask me why, but it only had, I think I had her at that point in time for maybe about a week or 2, and the starter relay went. So that was pretty depressing. Other than that, the motorcycle has been rock solid. Nothing has really gone wrong with it. Besides your typical maintenance, I ended up doing spark plugs, throttle body sync. I did fluids, you know, your transmission, your final drive, and I also did your clutch and brake fluids. Oh, and I did add a Atlas throttle lug, which to me has been godsend, because I can definitely now do long distance touring with no issues. The only thing that you have to think about when you have a throttle lug is going to be that it's not a cruise control, so you're going to have fluctuations in speed depending on the terrain. So when you're going up on elevation, you're going to start seeing a decrease in speed. When you're going downhill, you're going to see a increase in your speed. So, but other than that, this has been a rock solid motorcycle. Prior to the Yamaha FJR, I used to own a 2002 or 3, I can't recall, 2002 or 3, it was a BMW K1200. It's the one that had the Boxer engine. So for those of you that don't know, that's a very reliable, very torquey engine, and I'm gonna have to say that was a blast to ride. That one was a lot of fun. That one actually had cruise control, but you know, it was BMW, so I decided to go ahead and just get me something Japanese, you know, that was going to be easy to ride. So not easy to ride, but you know, easy to maintain down the road, especially with parts availability and maintenance overall. Those bikes are known for final drive failures, and the sucky part about it is, let's say that you have to replace either the final drive or perhaps the clutch. If you have to replace the clutch, you have to literally remove the whole final drive and transmission, which is a pain, versus, you know, this motorcycle that has the clutch over here on the side, so it's going to be a lot easier to replace and maintain. So that's basically one of the main reasons why I got the FJR. But if you look at the FJR, the great thing about it is parts availability, they are plenty. The model that we're currently riding, a 2008, they've had pretty much the same running of parts since 2003. I mean, yeah, you do have some fluctuations in parts, because I believe, if I'm correct, the 03 to 06 was the first gen, so I have a second gen FJR. So, but pretty much everything else, exhaust, seat, it's all gonna fit from 2003 all the way up to 2000, and I believe it's 14 or 15. So I mean, so if you're looking for a sport touring motorcycle, a budget-friendly touring motorcycle, the FJR, you can't go wrong with it. So I went with the FJR over the Concours for a simple reason: ease of maintenance. In the FJR, when you're doing maintenance, all you really have to do, for example, if you want to do your spark plugs, you just remove the tank, you're good to go. If you want to do your throttle body sync, and when I say remove, I just mean you lift the tank and you're good to go as well. Versus the Concours, because that's the motorcycle that I was contemplating. It was going to be either a Concours, the C14, or the FJR. So I didn't go with the C14 just because of maintenance. It's a lot more complicated, and I like to do things myself. The fact that the Concours has a lot of plastics makes maintenance a little bit cumbersome. So that's the reason why I went with this one. Now, in terms of speed and, you know, power, torque, definitely the C14 takes the crown there. The C14 is a lot more responsive, it's a lot more torquey, has a lot more horsepower. But, you know, I just wanted to get something that was going to be easy for me to do, easy maintenance, while at the same time being able to enjoy the ride. So besides that, guys, it has been a very sturdy motorcycle. I have enjoyed it a lot. I'm planning later this summer, I'm not sure if maybe around March or maybe perhaps June, I'm planning to go back up to the mountains again. So maybe like Blairsville area, like Young Harris, that area, like, you know, North Georgia, like, you know, lower North Carolina area, and just go, you know, ride some of the best roads that you can find in this country. And then we are planning, my brother and I, we're planning to do a ride where we are going to be hitting, we're calling it the baseball ride, or the baseball summer. Our plan is to ride from here to Cooperstown, New York, and for Cooperstown we want to ride up to Toronto. That is, you know, if they don't have any type of lockdowns in Canada, we want to go up to Toronto. We want to go ahead and see the Blue Jays play. From there, we are still debating, but we are either thinking of going from Toronto all the way down to Detroit through the Canada side, that way we can see the Tigers play, or we are thinking perhaps go from Cooperstown to Toronto, down to Pittsburgh, then up to Cleveland, and then hitting Detroit as we're going up. And then from Detroit, we would like to hit Chicago. From Chicago, hit Milwaukee, and then make our way down to Field of Dreams. And then our last baseball stop is going to be St. Louis. So it's all going to be dependent on his military schedule. So hopefully the days will line up. I just have to be able to request the days off, and for him to go ahead and hopefully he's not going to be on duty in any of those days. So that way we could go ahead and go for a ride. So today I'm meeting some of my buddies that I ride with Central Florida Sport Touring. Today is bike night, so we're gonna be meeting there. It's about 3 or 4 of us, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just gonna go ahead and meet up, just see what's going on. If you haven't been to Orlando, Ace Cafe has a really nice bike scene. Back in the day, the big bike scene was down in like Old Town, but slowly, I will have to say maybe the 3, 4, 5 years has slowly moved here to Orlando, and you know, I would have to say I like it a lot better. It's well lit compared to Old Town. You know, it wasn't that, I know, as lit. So I recently got a drone. I ended up getting the DJI Air 2S. So I am hoping to incorporate you know, the drone into my upcoming footage, whether it's going to be, you know, road trips, motorcycle reviews. So I'm hoping that, you know, between that footage and what I get with my GoPros, I'm able to get a different perspective and give you guys something different. I'm one of those riders that I like to have, especially if I'm watching YouTube videos, I like to see, you know, more than just either, you know, forward or back, or perhaps like tire, you know, shots. So that's what I'm hoping to do now. So I just got to go ahead and get it, get the drone registering, so I can go ahead and start flying it. So we have a nice CBR here. So we'll see. I know he's gonna try to fly. That is 600, so which is a much lighter motorcycle than what I have. This is like a 500-600 pound motorcycle versus he's, you know, I believe he's gonna be low 400s. So plus this is not a motorcycle, you know, for racing. So yeah, guys. Anyway, so I ended up getting the drone as well. I'm seriously considering getting a Trail 125. For those that don't know, that's going to be basically the replacement, which was many years later, of the CT 110. So the new Trail 125 is basically the same engine power plant that you're going to find on the Super Cub, on the Monkey, on the Grum. So I am looking forward to something like that. Obviously, as you know, that's not going to be a heavy duty off-road motorcycle. It's actually just a more of an utilitarian motorcycle, because it doesn't go fast, it has poor suspension, it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance. It's more just to putt around, and I'm hoping to go ahead and do some riding, some dirt riding, and, you know, start exploring some trails and stuff like that. So that's my goal with, you know, hopefully getting a CT, you know, or a Trail 125. The thing is that I found is it's so hard to find one right now, and I have not been able to find one locally. All the ones that I've seen, they are pretty much all either going to be like North Carolina, or I've seen a couple actually in Missouri. I saw one in Louisiana. So by the time I'm able to make it, I mean, by the time I'm actually able to make arrangements to make it over there, the motorcycle has already sold. So, and then I think I found one here. Actually, no, I didn't find one here locally, but I was quoted from the dealer almost $6,000. And what I don't really understand, or maybe I'm wrong, but what I cannot grasp my head around is the fact that it's a $3,900 motorcycle and you're charging $6,000. I understand that, you know, there's going to be fees and taxes and all that, but come on, man. If you guys are not aware, I don't know if you were able to get a view on the camera, but there's a really bad homeless crisis here in Orlando, Florida. The housing market has skyrocketed since the pandemic. We are seeing, in terms of cost based on income, Orlando, Florida has one of the highest in the nation housing prices. As a matter of fact, I know somebody that's renting a 1-bedroom apartment, and their rent went up from $1,500 all the way up to $1,900. So I mean, when you think about that type of increase, that type of cost that you are seeing, I mean, that is just, you know, obscene. The other thing is, here in the South, the money is not as good as, you know, some of the other areas, you know, like the northern states. So it's making people that normally will be able to rent an apartment unable to, and, you know, there's a lot of more homeless than before. So all right, guys, so here we are. I will catch up with you guys once I'm on my way back.
So I'm gonna close the valve.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna let it open.
Okay.